Good afternoon. This is Eveangel Savage, your host of Audacity Group Social Enterprise. We are talking today about passion or profit, what inspires people to do business. We have with us today the Trailblazer, Carla R. Cannon from Carla Cannon Enterprises, and we're going to let Carla tell us a little bit about herself. And Carla, are you there?
I am here. Hi, Eveangel.
How are you?
I am doing good. I'm excellent and improving. So I'm fabulous, doing good today.
Wonderful. Tell our audience who Carla Cannon is.
Awesome. Well, pretty much who I am, I'm a woman who is madly in love with Jesus. I have to say that first and foremost. Love him, love God for everything that he's doing in my life, for everything that he is to me. And so for me, I'm just a woman who really loves people. I love motivating people, empowering them, equipping them to live their best authentic life by operating in their divine calling. Now, as far as what I do is I teach people how to live authentically, how to use what's in their hands to create the life they desire and deserve, whether it's teaching them how to build their platform, how to develop their ministry, how to write a book, how to overcome depression, how to break the cycle of fear, or whatever. Those are my areas. My area is more so towards purpose and identity and how to develop your platform. So that's pretty much who I am and what I do in a nutshell.
Wonderful. I want to talk a bit more about the different components of Carla Cannon Enterprise. We're going to take some time to do that. I know you do coaching. I know you have an institute. I know you are an author. And I want to talk about all of those things. We want our audience to truly know who Carla is and what she's doing in our community and how she is impacting the lives of people around her. Let's begin with your most recent release, which is writing the book.
Write the book already.
Oh, write the book already. Go ahead. I'm going to let you take the platform on that, okay? Tell us about your writing and what you're doing to inspire authors.
Right. Well, I actually began about 3 years ago when I launched Women of Standard magazine. That was pretty much a movement that we did, and it was all about building women and equipping them and teaching them how to transform their pain into power. So everything that I've done comes from my own personal stories and testimonies, if you will. And so what I did is I packaged everything that I've been through and overcame and taught other people, because one of the things I've learned is never to take personal attacks personally, and every experience has a lesson. So throughout the books that I've written, Write the Book Already is actually my third book, and God is absolutely amazing, because I never thought I would be writing a book of this caliber, because Write the Book Already, How to Write a Best-Selling Book in 7 Days, is pretty much like a manual, a slash workbook. It's not like a book you sit down and read. You have to do some work. So I tell people all the time, it's a prerequisite before you can sit down and work on this book. You got to get your mind right. I talk a lot about mindset renewal and preparation, because a lot of times we just dive into things without preparing our minds, setting our atmospheres and our aim so that we can be successful. So in Write the Book Already, How to Write a Best-Selling Book in 7 Days, I share a strategic yet simple, I believe in keeping everything simple, process on how to write, publish, and market your book. Now, the amazing thing about this book is it is my journey. That's pretty much what it is. I didn't necessarily have a lot of mentors that taught me the process of how to write, publish, and market my book. It was kind of what I learned on my own, and, I've always been one to operate in excellence and always like things a certain way with marketing and branding and all of those things. And so I didn't know I would write this book. I ended up, when I published my book, The Power in Waiting, and I published my second book, A Single Woman's Focus, other people began to notice how I was branding and marketing myself. And I had one lady last year that reached out to me and said, hey, I see how you're promoting your book. Can you help me? I love your brand. I'm following you, your website, your calls are amazing. Ahead. And so that's why now I teach people, stop carrying so many things around in your mind. God wants to give you fresh ideas, but you can't if you're still carrying old stuff and you haven't put it on paper. So I gave everything I had into helping this young lady. We're still talking about how, what's going on with the book. So I gave everything I had into helping her begin to promote it on social media. Other people noticed. Next thing you know, I had another client reached out. So here I am starting this process over again. After her, I had another client. After that third client, it was as if the Lord was like, Carla, really? Come on, I need you to write a book. So I said, you know what? I need a process because I'm a little, I don't like, most teachers, we don't like repeating ourselves. When we feel like we're repeating the same thing over and over and over, we get a little frustrated. So I said, you know what? I got to develop something that when people come to me, develop a system to put in place, because that's one of the things I've learned from a lot of the media moguls and the entrepreneurs is you develop a system and you work smarter and not harder. And so I developed, before the book came out, I was kind of once I was notating my process, I was kind of putting it on paper because I had to develop a timeline for the client. But after that third client, I was like, nah, we got to do something different. And so I put together a coaching program, and it's called Write the Book Already, How to Write a Best-Selling Book in 7 Days. It was a 4-week process of, writing, publishing, and marketing your book. Well, I said, my mentor, he said, you got to put that into a book and get that out there, and then that'll actually add more value to the coaching program. And I was like, stop playing. So I took all of that information, compiled it, and developed it into a book. Then I took it a step further. Come April the 3rd and the 4th, we're having a 2-day writers intensive, Write the Book Already event where we're allowing no more than 25 people to opt in, come in, and we're going to pour everything we have into them. So it's a 4-week process, but it's pretty much like a crash course. They're going to get everything I teach in this book, everything I teach in the coaching program in 2 days. So that's pretty much how the book came about. I tell people all the time, be open-minded. Don't be so narrow, so closed-minded where you are not open to expanding. So it was my clients that actually pushed me to developing this product. And when I stepped out and became a book coach, I didn't know that's what I was. That's what the people pulled on. It was already on the inside of me. And I was able to launch my business full-time, Inspiring Hearts Coaching Institute, and also come off of my job. I'm speaking to you right now from my office. And these are things that I had in a vision board, vision book, and it is beginning to come to pass.
And that's exciting. That's really, really exciting news to listen to you and all of how it all manifests. And it was truly a plan, and you listened. That's one key thing is listening to the audience. What is it that they're asking for? What do they need? And you have truly built a map or set up a map that can bring others into the field of authorship, and that's exciting news today. And more importantly, you are your own CEO, and listening to that audience develop that for you. And so I think we now understand what ignited the spark. It was your customers in you.
Absolutely. And my passion.
Yes. And what would you say, Carla, are the top 3 skills that one would need in an industry like this where you are coaching and writing books and teaching others to write books and manifest their dreams?
Awesome. I would say, number 1, you must have a willing heart. Having a willing heart, and I'm going to say twofold, having a willing heart and a heart to serve people. That has to be number 1 above anything, because you have so many people, Eveangel, that are out here and they're doing things for $1. They're ready to get rich. They want to make a profit immediately. And I tell people all the time, well, if you haven't sown anything, then what are you expected to reap? Come on, that's a biblical principle. If you don't sow anything, I tell speakers all the time and authors, okay, you want to speak, then get out here and speak for free. And they look at me like I'm crazy. And I said, you're not listening. When you go out there and speak for free, you record yourself. You're able to sell product. You are able to repurpose that audio. So I have to break all of that down for them. But number 1, a willing heart and a heart to serve.
Wonderful.
Number 2, you have to be determined. Wrapped up in determined, it's so many things. So next to having a willing heart and a heart to serve, you have to be determined. You got to know that you know that you know that you know that you know that God called you to do what it is that you're doing. Think about it. I often use Tyler Perry as an example because I absolutely love his story. I don't care who you follow. You're not going to agree with everything there are people that follow me are not going to agree with everything that I do, but they still respect what I do. So I like to use Tyler Perry as an example. If he didn't have a willing heart to serve, a willing heart and a heart to serve people, then he wouldn't still be doing what he's doing, right? And if he wasn't determined, then after the first year for me, he would have been like, okay, this is not working. He did it for 10 years before his business took off as it relates to playwriting. First it was 30 people, and he knew every last one of them. Then it was 300 people, and he knew every last one of them. And he kind of continued that cycle. But eventually, because he was determined, because he remained strategic, and he remained focused, it broke, and things happened. So next to having a willing heart, a heart to serve, and being determined, you gotta have. Those are key factors in having, in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. Now, there's a lot of things I could mention, but in the things that I'm sharing, is so much wrapped up in that. And then finally, let me go back. Even in being determined, in that I like to say, always know your why. When you know why you do what you do, it will keep you doing what it is that you want to do. I tell people all the time to focus on why I execute. Is it your children? Is it to leave a legacy? Because what's going to happen anytime you're on a trail to success or a path to success, you are going to experience obstacles. But your why has to be so much greater than any opposition, any adversity that you could ever experience. So when you have a willing heart, first of all, your heart is in the right place. When you have a mind to serve, then that means you go in not expecting, but you come to give. And then when you have a determined mind, oh my goodness, and mindset is everything. And then number 3, always remain teachable. See, we have too many proud people that think they know everything, and I don't care who you are, I've always positioned myself to always have a listening ear. Even if someone tells me something that I already know, I wouldn't dare say I already knew that. I say, Thank you so much. Thank you. Because sometimes we need that reiteration. Sometimes we need to hear it again in order to grasp it. So again, my 3 points would be have a willing heart and a heart to serve. Number 2, be determined. And number 3, what did I say number 3 was?
Determination.
No, number 2 was determined. Be determined. Oh, number 3 was be teachable.
Teachable.
Be teachable.
Very, very good concepts to have, and we all should implement into what we do, and most importantly, why we do what we do. How did you finance your business? That's a good question that we get all the time from entrepreneurs. They want to start business, but they're waiting on how they're going to come up with the money. How did you finance your business? And what was that process like for you?
This is a good question. I tell people often, anytime you want to do something that is out of the box, then that means you're going to have to get out of the box yourself. So how I funded my business was from working my 9 to 5. That is why one of the core things that I teach is how to build your business while working a 9 to 5. I'm going to have to write the book. I'm going to have to because it's so much in there. You were there last month, January, when I hosted the How to Build Your Business While Working a 9 to 5. I tell people all the time, you have to stop looking at your job. If you're on a job that you hate, you got to start looking at that thing as a resource. Now, God is your source, but your job is your resource. So I couldn't walk around trying to be a diva while I'm trying to build an empire. So I wasn't always going to get my hair and my nails because a lot of us, we're multi-talented. We are multifaceted women. As women, we know how to do a lot of stuff. So I had to do my own makeup. I had to rotate my outfits and stay out of the mall and stop eating out so much. And all of the extra money that I had, I put it into my business. Now, I like to teach people the process of ground floor. You got to do a lot of work, a lot of foundational work first. So that's why it's good to build your business while you're working your 9 to 5, because people only buy from who they know, like, and trust. I don't have any loan debts. I didn't go to anybody asking anybody for anything. I didn't go and ask somebody, will you be? I have never, even to this day, not saying I won't, I just haven't done that yet. I've never went and had to get a sponsor. I just always did it myself. And I'm not knocking that, because we are, now that the vision is bigger, it's requiring more, I'm going to need sponsors. However, when I go to those sponsors, Eveangel, I'm able to show them, hey, I've been doing this for 4 years, and I funded all of this myself. See, people don't mind helping people that are trying to help themselves. But when you have an approach of give me, help me, then it's not going to work. So how did I fund my business? I did it by working my 9 to 5. I paid my bills, and also I built Women of Standard magazine, so I had revenue coming in from that, from our features, from our advertisements, and things of that nature. However, prior to that, I just had to. It was from my job. You know, you got too many people walking out on this blind faith saying, the Lord told me to leave my job. You don't have any plan. You don't have a plan. You don't have any type of structure. You don't have any goals set, and you are doomed to fail, because God does not work like that. He's a principle God, and we have to implement the principles. So again, I teach people how to build their business while working a 9 to 5, because that's what I did. The only reason why I was able to walk away from my job on October the 17th in 2014 was because I didn't know it. See, mindset is important. When you get around small-minded people, you start doing small-minded stuff. And so I didn't even realize that for over a year, I could have been left my job. That over a year, the money I was bringing in from my businesses was superseding what I was making from my job. So I could have been left, but it was a place of comfortability for me. So, and while you're working your job, this is why we have to be focused. On my lunch break, Eveangel, I was interviewing people like Kiara Sheard and Yolanda Adams and Vashawn Mitchell. I was building my brand while I worked my 9 to 5, and that's what helped fund my business. So when now I'm able to step out full time and pay for an office space and pay my bills and not have my lights turned off, because I took time and I built it. So I encourage people to develop a plan of action, a strategic plan of action. And I like to say it like this, that a goal without a strategic plan of action is simply a wish. If you don't, you can want stuff all day. We see it all over social media. Everybody is posting these vision boards, and they got Oprah and Bishop Jakes, and they got all these people up there, and Steve Harvey. But if you don't develop a plan of, how you want to execute your vision, it's never going to happen. You're going to still be sitting back watching reality TV without living out your own reality. So I'd like to encourage people that are looking to build their businesses, or they need finances and things like that. Look at what you already have. My mouth was like my greatest asset, because me speaking. No, I'm serious. I got that from Joyce Meyer. She said it was her mouth. She said it was her speaking that opened a lot of doors for her. And I tell people, every gift we have can be used for good or can be used for bad. But when you apply it to good, you can monetize and capitalize on the natural gifts that you have, and then you don't have to be out here begging, asking people for help. You can fund your own business while working your 9 to 5. Then when you get to that place where you need sponsorship, they won't mind helping you, because now you have a track record of every dime you spent over the last, X amount of years. So that was a long answer.
But it was good, and it was thorough, and it actually answered a lot of the questions I was going to ask, and that was extremely thorough. One interesting thing, though, in an ever-evolving market where things are always changing and the climate's changing, how do you generate new ideas to keep from being stagnant?
Oh, my goodness. See, that's not an issue that I have. My mind is always moving. So I have a problem focusing on one thing at a time. Like, that's my thing. I get an idea, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. And I have to say no. I got to write it down and shelf it. But for those people who say, okay, how do I enhance my level of creativity? I say look inside yourself. Don't overthink it. Remember to keep everything simple, and look inside yourself and pay attention to what's already going on. One thing I often say is success leaves clues. So my media moguls that I like are Tyler Perry, Oprah. You know, I love John Maxwell's movement, Jack Canfield. Those are the type of people I like. So I study them and I look at what they're doing, and I'm able to glean from their innovative style. You know, so I would say look within yourself at what you do naturally. If you got to force yourself, I have a client right now who she's a phenomenal speaker, but she hates writing. And I tell her, I said, girl, you need to package this stuff in some books. And she's like, I have so many audios, Carla, but I got to get somebody to transcribe them. So guess what? The way that we can fix that, she wants to now be creative and become an author. She's been speaking. She's been doing her audio teachings and all those things. But guess what? Her natural gift is not to sit down and type a book. So guess what she did? She got her a transcriptionist, let them type her audio, so now she's able to expand her business. So it's a way around everything, but just look inside yourself and identify what it is that you do naturally, number one, and allow yourself to be free to be you. I love to say that. Don't feel like you have to keep up with what everybody else is doing. I'm the type of person, if everybody in the market is going left, I will be that outcast and I will go right. If everybody else is going down, I will go up. Right?
That's what actually keeps us from or allows us to stand out from the market.
Right.
Or that allows us to stand out from others. If you could talk to one person, though, Carla, from history, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a hard one. Just one person?
Just one or two.
Now you didn't say what type of history.
No, I didn't.
So with my mind, I'm going to be honest. With my mind, the person I would want to talk to would be David in the Bible.
Okay.
I would want to talk to David. Why would I want to talk to David? Because I feel the person I relate to the most in the Bible is David, because I've had so many struggles, but I still have a heart I have a heart for God. I'm a woman after God's own heart, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and David made a lot of mistakes, but even at a young age, David had a call on his life, and he was picked over. Think about it. He was the last of the brothers to be picked, and it was like, don't you got another son? And they didn't even think about David. David was out there with the sheep. They like, not this little scraggly, little stinking boy smelling like sheep. So I would, to get some understanding about my own life and how to handle certain obstacles and to get clarity on some things. I would love this. I feel like, we all in life want someone that can understand us. We get tired of having to explain ourselves. We just want people, especially as women, we just want you to get us. We like having girlfriends that we don't got to say a whole lot. You just get me. You know me.
Right.
And I feel like with David, I could have a bare all conversation and just be completely naked, and David wouldn't judge me because he's been there and done. I mean, what David going to say? He committed adultery. He had a man killed. I mean, come on. But then David also went on to do great exploits in the kingdom of God. And so I would love to get kingdom nuggets from David, because even though he was messed up, he always had a heart to go back to God. And I believe he has so many pearls of wisdom. So that would be my one person. I mean, next to Jesus. I mean, sit down and have a conversation. Come on, Jesus. But that would be my person. And I know that was different, but that would be my person in history. I know we at the end of Black History Month, and I could have said Martin Luther King and Malcolm. I'd rather talk to David, because David could bring me some clarity to my life and and to help me as far as where I'm headed.
And that's important, and we needed it from your perspective. What would you say? What book, if any, and I'm sure there are, has inspired you the most? And I think I know the answer to that one, but let's see what Carla has to say.
Oh, my God, I have so many books. People that follow me, I share books all the time. But the two, I don't know if you're going to get this one right, but the two that stick out in my head, and I can go anyway, I can go financial. I have inspirational books and all of those things. But I tell people all the time, you got to build you first. If you can have all the greatest skills in the world, but if you as a person is not built up, you really have nothing to give other people. So the 2 books for me, up to date to now, number 1, I would have to say Joyce Meyer's Never Give Up. Oh, my God. That book transformed my life. I know a lot of people like Battlefield of the Mind, and that was a good one too, but Never Give Up was one for me that always spoke life. Even there's times when I still have to go back through the highlighted sections of her book, and the reason why that book was so dear to me is because I had so many odds against me. Oh, you're never going to be anything, teenage mother, promiscuity, just all the issues, and I felt like I was constantly fighting every day to prove that I'm no longer that person, and it would get so tiring until I learned that I really don't have to prove nothing to anybody. But it was that book that helped me. Now, up to date, now there's a lot of books I can name, and you probably, one that you're going to name, I'll probably be like, oh, yeah, that one, but I didn't think about it. Now, there's a book I'm reading now that I believe every woman in the world, not just America, but in the world should read. And it is, of course, next to The Power in Waiting, A Single Woman's Focus. Absolutely. Those are my books. Yours. But The Woman Code, oh, my God, 20 Powerful Keys to Unlock Your Life by Sophia Nelson is absolutely amazing. I had an opportunity to meet her when I traveled down to Bishop Jake's Woman Thou Art Loose when we covered media this year in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were front and center, totally favored by God. And I'm telling you, this girl's book is amazing. What I love about it is she breaks it down. She's talking about codes that we as women, entrepreneur women, women in business should live by. She breaks her book down, I think it's in like 4 parts, where she's talking about personal codes, emotional codes. So 5 parts: spiritual codes, professional codes, and relational codes. Now, she deals with personal codes first, and she's talking about things like know your value, make peace with your past, teach people how to treat you, live authentically. And then she goes into emotional, be resilient, guard your heart, be accountable. Then she goes into spiritual, where she's telling us don't gossip, don't be so quick to write people off, but, learn how to untie rather than cut. Now, that was the number 1 takeaway for me, because as a person, I've always just had this low tolerance for nonsense, and I would just, somebody do something crazy, I'm like, I'm done with you. But in life, we got to be patient with people because God is patient with us. So a lot of these principles that she's sharing in this book will help you from your business to your marriage to your friendships to how you raise your kids to how you run your organization to how you run your ministry, because it's called The Woman Code, and it's dealing with the very essence of who we are as women. And I'm telling you, I'm reading this book so slow. I tweeted it the other day, and Sophia messaged me back. She said, Carla, you still reading my book? I was like, don't judge me. I'm taking my time because it's so good. She's like, you're on code 7. I was like, no, I know it's been 2 weeks, but I'm taking my time and let it sink in, because sometimes we read books too fast. Right. And we just read them and we just go on to the next thing. But this book is so ministering to me and helping me become a better person. So those are the 2 books. Yeah, this book, I'm gonna bring you. I'm gonna bring it Saturday tomorrow, because I want to tell the women. And Sophie, you need to pay me. But I'm gonna tell the women they need to get this book because it is changing my life. It's changing my life.
Awesome, awesome. What if, in one word, Carla, characterize your life as an entrepreneur?
Wow. One, you can't tell a preacher they only have one word. Okay. For those listening, I am also an ordained minister and an entrepreneur. Yeah, one word. I'm one word to characterize my life as an entrepreneur. I would have to say mind blowing. Okay. Is that 2 words? I'm gonna put it together as one word.
There's one other that you use daily.
Are you talking about trailblazing?
Yes.
Oh, man, I didn't even think about that. I really wanted to say amazing, because it's what I'm doing now. These are things that I always dreamed about, and I didn't grow up with these dreams inside of me. A lot of stuff was was trying to be killed in me before it could ever birth out. So I'm actually on this path where it's actually amazing and mind-blowing to me, the things that God is doing. And so when we will get out of our own way, the sky is not the limit, for we serve a limitless God. And a lot of times we blame people, we blame our past, we blame our circumstances, instead of learning how to own all of those things and make it work for you. I have made everything that I've ever been through. I laugh at myself about my struggles. I laugh at myself about the stupid stuff I've done. We got to stop taking ourselves so seriously and understand that we are all a work in progress. This is why we got to be careful and not put our mouth on other people. Whether it's their business, their ministry, or their personal life. We got to be careful with that stuff, because who we are, what we do reflects who we are. And so I just believe in, allowing God to have free reign in my life. And that's what it has been. This journey as an entrepreneur has been absolutely amazing. I remember I think it was May 2014. I shared this with you guys last month. I forgot the date, May 7th, I think, 2014, I clearly heard the Lord say you would never work for anyone else another day in your life. So I wrote it down, and I put it on a clipboard and put it up in my house, and I will see that thing every day. And I remember reading books and listening to the financial gurus tell me you got to have 6 months worth of expenses saved up before you leave your job. You got to have this amount of money. And I was like, God, I don't have none of that. And I remember coming across Real Talk Kim. Many people know her. Her real name is Kimberly Pothier, out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I talked to her and I said, Kim, because Kim had just left her job. She was working at Bloomingdale's, and now she's an international speaker and preacher. And I said, Kim, God told me I was coming off of my job, but the gurus are telling me I got to have this amount saved, that amount saved. And anybody that knows Kim, she's a Caucasian lady, but I swear she's a sister. She was like, girl, don't worry about that. The Lord, whatever God says, what you believe. You're coming off that job. We not worrying about no money. That's how Kim talks. And I tell you, I trusted God, and I put my finances in order. And this is why I tell people all the time, God will make your little much if you would just give it to him. When the disciples were feeding the 5,000, well, actually it was more than that when you count children and women, but when they were feeding the 5,000, the bread didn't multiply until they did what? Until they gave it away. So as we give God back what belongs to him, he will multiply, he will make it more. So we got to stop focusing on what we don't have and who we don't have to support us, and everything that we have, everything we need, we already have it. So come October, I promise you, it's like an epiphany. I was down in Atlanta, Georgia at Bishop Jake's event, and I ended up looking up, and the sign said, the wait is over. Now, mind you, 2 years prior, I wrote a book called The Power in Waiting. 2 years later, in my life, God said, the wait is over. So I knew exactly what that meant. Like, the wait is over. Put your 2 weeks notice on this job and stop playing. And I did that, and now I'm living my dream, and I've only scratched the surface, but it's yet still amazing. It is still amazing to me.
And so where do you see your business in 10 years, 20 years?
Oh, my goodness. Where I see my business, and I'm going to use this secular example, and I don't want anybody to send me to hell. When I love the show Empire, but let me tell you why. I like it from an entrepreneur standpoint. I love the whole aspect of legacy and family and unity, and it's real because in family there's a lot of drama. Think about it. I mean, especially a black family. It's a lot of drama. But what I love about it is the mindset of Lucius. Lucius not going to let nobody stand in between him and his vision. He's not going to let Cookie or Nika. It doesn't matter, right? With me, I see an empire. I see an enterprise. I see an incorporation. That's why I love people like John Maxwell and Jack Canfield, how they're building legacies, they're building their brands, and they're training other people, right? They're like, you have the whole John Maxwell team, because John knows soon he'll transition out of here. He knows that. And so he's like, you know what, I need my legacy to continue to live on, so what I have to do is I got to build up other mini-me's. And so that's what I see myself doing, the same thing. And that's what I'm doing with Trailblazers Coaching Academy, is letting other women know and to pour into them, to let them know, I call myself the Trailblazer, but we're all Trailblazers. This thing ain't about me. We're all Trailblazers. So that's where I see myself in 10 years.
and we must all work together. And I'm going to give you an opportunity right now to list those books and tell us where, if someone wanted to reach you, where they could find you. Leave us some information so that people know where they can identify with or reach Miss Carla Cannon.
Absolutely. I believe in keeping things simple. I really do. My website is carlacannon.com, and also on social media. Straight across the board, I'm Carla R. Cannon, straight across the board. And so that's how they can reach me. Yes, ma'am.
And the list of books? Tell us about those books.
Oh, my goodness. My books, The Power in Waiting, my What Do You Do When What God Said Doesn't Line Up with What You See, talks a lot about the promise and the manifestation of God, and what lies in between is the inevitable process. My second book, A Single Woman's Focus, Every Ruth Needs a Naomi, is all about sharing pearls of wisdom for single women who desire to be married. And then my third book, which is a workbook/manual, Write the Book Already, How to Write a Best-Selling Book in 7 Days. All of them are available on Amazon.com. You can also get the Kindle version, and you also can get it from my website. I don't recommend you get the Kindle version for Write the Book Already, because you want to be able to print it out, and it's really good, and it's workbook form, so it's a lot of information you have to fill in. But you definitely can get all three of my books from Amazon or carlacannon.com. The biggest thing we're working on right now is this 2-day Writers Intensive, which is taking place on April the 3rd through the 4th. Really, really excited about that. We're going to teach people, and I have my professional team, my A-team that will be with me, and we're teaching people how to write, publish, and market their book. And if they can go to thewritersintensive.com for more information, thewritersintensive.com for more information. And then the next thing to that is Trailblazer's Coaching Academy. I'm really excited about that's about teaching people, women, that's solely for women, teaching them how to get unstuck, refueled, and equipped on how to live the life of their dreams now. So I'm all about teaching them how to get focused, determined, and positioned to leave a legacy. And so that website is trailblazerscoaching.org. They're able to coach one-on-one with me. They get a lot of the stuff that we get when we have the monthly events, but they'll be able to be the Women of Standard events, but they'll be able to have more consistency by coaching with me via this group coaching. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Those are the newest things. I'm actually about to put together a book called, it's going to be an ebook, and it's going to be free. I'm going to put it on Amazon absolutely free, called The Trailblazer State of Mind. And it's just going to be thoughtful nuggets. Not a book, but just nuggets that I'm going to share throughout the pages. Just something really simple that people can refer to and apply to their life.
Well, you are doing an outstanding job in our community right here in Greenville, North Carolina. We're speaking with Carla R. Cannon, who has extensive opportunities for us as entrepreneurs to expand our businesses with hope. And so we thank you for joining us today. You are listening to Eveangel Savage, the founder of Case by Case Research Foundation and Audacity Group Social Enterprise. We are excited to have had Ms. Cannon join us today, talking about passion and profit, what inspires people to do business. We are signing off. Thank you so much, Ms. Cannon. Please stay on the line.
Okay, thank you.